Welcome in, Princess. I assume that your journey here was not too difficult. Oh. You believe I kidnapped you? Well, I'm sorry to say, but that's a word we really shouldn't use. I prefer to call it inviting without the option of refusal. Oh, come now. I'm a lot more civil than that. I'm not some mere kidnapper. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Prince Varnagor, the son of King Varnagor. Yes, I'm sure you've heard of him. I am his successor. Well, I will be at some point. That is the issue here. And that is why I have brought you here, Your Majesty. Oh. Guard, what is this? Why does she have a scratch on her cheek?
Well, she was struggling and resisting against us, Master. We had to get a little bit rough with her.
Silence. I gave you explicit instructions not to harm a single hair on her head. Does this look unharmed to you?
I
did not give you permission to reply to me. But you will still serve as a good example for those who dare to go against my orders. I apologize for the brutal behavior of my former living guard, Your Majesty. Rest assured, I'll take very good care of you while you are staying here. Oh, did they fail to explain to you why I have summoned you here? Well, I suppose I can brush you up on the topics. You see, you are of great importance to me, Your Majesty. Not just as a neighboring kingdom, but as something a little bit more. Yes, you see, Princess, I am actually far more interested in your bloodline specifically. Now I understand that your father may be very desperately looking for you at this point. And once it's discovered that you are no longer within your own kingdom, but are instead within mine, I have no doubt that he'll send every single one of his lackeys to attempt to rescue you. If you cooperate properly, that won't even be necessary, for I shall release you without so much as a single iota of resistance. However, there is something I do need from you. Something very specific. I am in pursuit of something that is known as the Knockstone, and, if legend is correct, the only one that can successfully obtain the Knockstone is a member of your royal family. I know for a fact that your father is far too heavily guarded and far too powerful to be able to be apprehended, and your mother, unfortunately, is not of the exact same bloodline as yourself. That left you as the best possible option. Simply put, I'm going to use your blood in order to obtain the Knockstone. Oh, Princess, I assure you, the Knockstone is very real, and it's all going to be mine. Why do I want it? Well, that's something I could easily answer for you. Do you know something of vampires? More specifically, do you know what it is that vampires hate the most about themselves? Or should I say, the most difficult thing about being a vampire? We live forever. And I do mean that. In a sense, we are undead. So, more that we just can't be laid to rest properly. We belong in the grave, and yet for some reason we continue to walk amongst the living. Not that I mind it. But here's the problem. As a prince, there's hardly any room for growth in my future. With my father also being immortal, he will continue to have his position as the king of the vampires for effectively all eternity. Unless I were to get my hands on a little certain artifact that may or may not be able to control the sun, and whether or not it rises in the night or in the day, or whether or not it obliterates from the sky completely. Oh, you can keep telling me that it's not real, but I know for a fact that the Knockstone is in fact real. You can try to deny it. Maybe you're protecting something. But it doesn't really matter, for the Knockstone will be mine. And I am going to keep you here until I see fit, or until the Knockstone is... I'm going to pretend that that slap to the face did not occur. I understand. You are far more resilient than I expected you to be. Nonetheless, I am not going to stand by and simply let you resist. I am going to make sure that I obtain what your family has stolen from mine for far too long. Even if you don't remember what your ancestors did, I remember very, very clearly. And this is the perfect opportunity. Turning away now. You're annoyingly stubborn. I will not have myself insulted in my own castle by a creature whose mortality I deem far inferior to myself. Insult me all you like. I will not allow it. In fact, if you really want to refuse, I can simply have you chained to the dungeon wall for the next, 20 years or so. Calling my bluff then, are we? Very well, very well. I understand fully well that your father will be here before 20 years have passed. But I will not be denied my destiny. I must seize the throne from my father, and the only way to do that is to gain control of the Knockstone. You have a proposal in mind? Go on, I'm listening. Ah, so you will hear me out. Very well. Alright. So you want me to be in charge. In exchange, I will make sure that no more attacks from my country upon your individual villagers are done. Very well. That is something I could arrange, as the king. I would ensure that the only things attacked during the night are cattle, no humans. Is that all you wish from me? That is a simple matter. I'm glad we see eye to eye. Very well, very well. I would appreciate if you didn't refer to what I desire being the Knockstone as a childish adventure. But I do appreciate that you are willing to assist me with it. You are very mature. I suppose I didn't expect a human to be mature, let alone this good at negotiation. Very well. As I said before, you have yourself a deal. You will help me achieve the Knockstone so I can overthrow my father. In exchange, I will assist in making sure, as king, that no vampires attack villagers or humans of any kind. They are rogue actors, but we shall increase our securities among the borders of our country to ensure that not a single one of them can cross. And if they do end up doing so, they will be required to have documentation showing that they have purchased animals and are simply going to feast upon them. Perhaps you could call my ambition a bit more selfish. However, when one is immortal, one can be forgiven for indulging in self-gratification. As for yourself, I shall write to your father and simply mention that you are a guest. For the time being, of course. I will also ensure that you are properly treated for that atrocious scratch upon your cheek. How pathetic of that imp. He dares to harm you. I will ensure that not a single other of my subordinates so much as touch a hair on your head. This you have my word on. That is a very elegant bow, Your Majesty. It's impressive how you can switch from negotiation to a sudden ladylike demeanor. It's very endearing. I appreciate it. Yes, for the time being I have prepared chambers for you. I shall have my subordinates escort you. Please, help yourself to anything in the castle. My home is your home. Oh, and as for how we shall obtain the ancient Knockstone, I shall go over the details of it with you in the morning. Please, get as much ample rest as your mortal eyes can withhold. You will need it.